What's cracking, everybody, and welcome to episode 213 of the Good Kraken Podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ernell Pearson, alongside the man who is here, Brevin, the dude. What's happening, dog?
Dude, I'm here.
I'll put it to rest soon, I promise. It'll be
here.
fun. You're here. You are here. You are, in fact, here.
Yeah.
Devin, how are you doing on this fine Saturday morning?
Doing good. Spent my morning doing just a little bit of work for work. Open up that laptop, just making sure those TLDs went out.
It's two TDLRs, yeah. TLDR, yeah.
Too
long read.
I drank some coffee, and Garrick and I just played Jedi Survivor, just chilling in chill chat this morning.
Oh yeah, I saw you guys were in there for a little while, just playing playing Star Wars together. Oh, okay.
Yep. I told him he had to get to a certain point, and he got to that point, and I'm glad he got to that point.
All right, dude, I like it. I like it.
It was epic.
I'll be firing that bad boy up in a couple weeks. I did start Mandalorian season 3 though. You'll be happy to know.
Hell yeah, you
Christ.
did.
I finally started.
It's been done for weeks already.
First
Why
two
didn't we
episodes,
review that?
I'm trying not to have us just do like every single season of every single show. You know what I mean?
It is so good.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, who knows how long Mandalorian's gonna run for? You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the hell are we, IGN?
I know, right? But those first two episodes that I ran through were fucking good. So I'm excited to dive in further. It'll be a fun one. But we also have the man who was also playing Star Wars this morning, Devin's little cherry blossom, Garrick Bartholomew Eaton.
What's cracking, y'all? I'm fucking tired today. Like, I literally, no joke, like, just before we went live, I was, like, sitting here fighting off a panic attack. It was fucking awesome. Just loving when those just kind of creep up all upon their own. But no, yeah, we're just playing some Jedi Survivor. They're adding a lot of fun things, or they're like really firmly establishing some fun things back into the canon that were kind of like on the edge of the canon that I'm really excited about.
Galaxy's Edge, yeah.
And I'm also still playing Redfall against my better judgment.
Hell yeah, baby! Let's go. We'll be playing again soon. I need to see how they feel
Yeah, we
tonight,
will.
and then we'll go from there. Okay. But,
Yeah, you need to fix your shit.
I'm working on it. You know what I mean? I'm currently working. I got an ice pack on my back right now. You know, as we speak. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But we also have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We got him, baby. It's Twitch.tv's DJ Seven. DJ, how you doing it on this wonderful Saturday afternoon for you, my good sir?
Dude, I just woke up.
Yeah,
I feel Garrett. It's raining outside. It's stormy weather. I could have easily slept for another 3 hours, but something compelled me inside to wake up, and I'm here now.
The power of Christ compels you.
Something compelled you, huh? Something just
Something.
like
It's not like I had a
woke him
prior obligation that I needed
it
to
was
attend to.
an alarm clock. It was something just reached inside.
It was crazy. It
and
was
said,
crazy. It was crazy.
It's
woke up.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I
Man.
just had to wake up, man. It was crazy.
And now he's here.
I have
You
no
know, we don't know why. No clue why, but he's here. Do you know what I'm saying? Here to talk about a wonderful movie that we're going to be getting into here in a second. But before we do, we also have the queen of bitchin' herself, Genesee. Gabrielle Genesaw, how are you?
Hi, I am also tired as fuck this morning.
Oh, I don't think you have the right mic turned on.
Yeah, your mic sounds.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. But you look very cozy. That cardigan sweater you're wearing looks fucking warm and comfy and nice, and I'm jealous of that because it looks like a blanket cardigan.
It is my wife's. I stole it. Is
My
that
wife.
My wife.
My wife.
better? You know, sweaters are better when you steal them from your spouse, I think, is the rule.
You know, I think Marilyn would agree. I think I probably have constantly one hoodie in rotation at all time with her. That is no longer mine. Right, babe?
Yes.
Yep. See, there you go. That's it. That's the one.
Confirmation.
Oh God, excuse me. Genesaw, how was your Saturday going?
Good. I got to chat with one of my old friends for like a good hour and a half this morning. I made some breakfast burritos. Just chilled the fuck out.
That sounds like a way better morning than any of us have had. Besides
Yeah.
maybe Devin, who pretty much had an equal morning as you, because he also had some wonderful burrito, deep fried burrito, but
Chimichanga.
yeah. With a beautiful horchata, and he got to play Star Wars with one of his friends. So it looks like you guys are just.
And I got some work done.
And you got some work. Yeah, there you go. You guys are productive today. What a good Saturday for you guys. What a good Saturday for you guys. I'm excited for you guys. Genocide, your area is becoming more and more cozy every single episode that you're back on here, and it's cracking me up because it's looks like you live in a therapist's storage closet. It's
The best part is that the room I'm in is actually not my space, and I didn't have anything to do with the stuff behind me. This is my sister-in-law's room.
Oh,
But her vibes and my vibes are very similar because we are different fonts of the same person.
that sounds
she's
about
getting
right.
her-
Naomi's sister definitely. Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah, she's getting her law degree right now, in Virginia. So she's super got her shit together. I'm a little bit more chill version of her, but we both dig the rose gold, fresh flowers,
The earthy colors, yes.
comfy sweaters. Yeah.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift.
While also
yeah.
being Taylor Swift while also being neurotic messes. That's
Yes,
us.
yeah.
So
Which we don't need to go too far down that rabbit hole, but I'm sure you're having a great week
having a
with some
great week.
T Swift fandom here.
yeah,
no.
my purple because we're getting the fucking purple album because it's fucking happening.
It's happening.
It's been a year. We won't go down it, but it has been a year. I've mentioned this before that being a Taylor Swift fan is a lot like being a Marvel fan because every single day of our lives, it's guys, did you see that they posted this thing that had this color in the background? If you pixelate it to this degree, and it's so obviously in 2 weeks we're getting this release date, and it's you're hardly ever getting that thing except for that one time with the fence posts, and now everything is in the number 13 and everybody needs to calm the fuck down. So it's been a year of people being we're getting Speak Now Taylor's version next Tuesday at 2 p.m. because she did this thing. And you know what we didn't get? Speak Now Taylor's version at 2 p.m. that one day.
Wow, Jesus Christ. That's
Anyway,
that's
that's my life.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong though. I mean, that's the equivalent to us just getting teased Mephisto every single movie.
Yes.
At all times. So we just constantly think Mephisto's going to come around. It's going to be Paul Giamatti. It's going to be crazy.
It's the same thing. I'm just constantly being gaslit by the fandoms I'm a part of.
You know what? That's okay to be gaslit every once in a while because everyone needs to be a little bit gaslit every here and there. But not today because this is the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to be gaslit by every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. If you're on this wave, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can get gaslit, submit questions at topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, get gaslit again, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services across the gaslit sea.
Yarg.
I love that I said gaslit sea and then Devin went in for a yarg, but because he did it just a little bit too close to the microphone, it cut out. So it was we got gaslit by the yarg.
Oh,
You know
no,
what I
I
mean?
was just muted. I was just muted.
Oh, this is cool, even better. It was just a gaslit yarg, you know what I mean? It's Tracy, the gaslighting pirate. That's what
All right, Captain Dragon.
Tracy's such a good gaslighting pirate name, if you ask me. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show live and get gaslit right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you have Amazon Prime, though, you also have Twitch Prime. DJ, tell them.
Prime Gaming.
And we would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing the content out for all of you that are listening and or watching at home. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel by clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and getting gaslit there.
Checks out.
review.
Kicks off.
Garrick, because I need you to wake up a little bit with me, baby. we gotta wake up a little. We have some captain's orders, guys. The newest episode of the Shipwreck Show is live, aka the Vermilion the Beard. No,
Vermilion the dude.
Vermilion the Dude Show. That's right.
Look, no matter how you resplice it, it just sounds like another version of a show that could be just one of us or both of us.
Which is the beauty of it. But great show. Devin and Garrick had to do a Shipwreck Show with just the two of them, and they swung it very well. They swung it very, very well. And these two got a chance to talk about all sorts of lovely shit between Star Wars.
We were all over the place.
And Garrick definitely convinced me that I need to fucking go to Galaxy's Edge, because all that explanation about getting a lightsaber, I was like, fuck me,
So
I need
cool.
that in my life. Need that in my goddamn life. But also, our little like D&D lore that you guys kind of go into is fucking gold. So let's keep that one. If you guys want to hear that, go watch the most recent episode of the Shipwreck Show. That's on YouTube and your podcast service of choice. You guys can check that out there. But also, we are back to our regularly scheduled Good Kraken schedule. Things will be just smidgens a little tiny different, but for the most part, our weeks are going to be the usual rotation of stuff for the next month, at least, until we get into the craziness that is movie releases in June that are going to be happening. So be prepared for that, guys. We might get a little bit weird again during the summertime, especially because June's going to be packed with movies and video game announcements and opening night live, and all sorts of like summer game fest shit. So like we're gonna have a busy June. It's gonna be a busy June. You guys will see how that goes. Anyways, DJ, could you tell the people at home what we're getting into next, my boy?
Well, Ernell, you protect your neck, because we're going into the gallows. Mainline segments.
Protect your neck.
Protect
Guys,
the neck.
today for the gallows, we are talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 spoiler-free review. We got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a fun one. Guys, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Peter Quill, still reeling from the loss of Gamora, must rally his team around him to defend the universe along with protecting one of their own. A mission that, if not completed successfully, could quite possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. Goddamn. What a synopsis. Released May 5th, 2023. Directed by the legendary James Gunn. A budget of $250 million. And a box office so far internationally of $89 million. A runtime of 2 hours and 29 minutes. And then before we get into the nitty gritty here, the Bechdel test is a measure of representation of women in film and other fiction. The test asks whether a work features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man for more than 1 minute of screen time. The question is, does Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 pass the Bechdel test? It does not. It does not, unfortunately. But that is very much for some weird reasons. Because, I mean, there's just a lot of dudes. There's a lot of dudes in this movie. So, unfortunately, there's not really any moments for anyone to talk about anything that isn't really a dude. Because even the dudes are talking about dudes. It's fucking crazy, man. But anyways, some trivia for you guys. After being fired over controversial quotes from the past, in March 2019, James Gunn was reinstated by Disney as director of the film after a meeting with President Alan F. Horn on multiple occasions. Horn came to this decision based on Gunn's public apology and his handling of the situation afterwards. Gunn had never fought his firing and stated that, quote, "My words of nearly a decade ago were, at the time, totally failed in unfortunate efforts to be provocative. I have regretted them for many years since, also because they don't reflect the person I am today or have been for some time," end quote. Gunn did not start production on this film until his work on the Suicide Squad in 2021 was completed. And then there's a whole slew of other things that came with that, with like Dave Bautista like wanting to leave if they didn't get James Gunn to come back, and it was a big mess. There's a lot of sloppy stuff that was going to happen if he did not make his way back here to finish this trilogy. But Jesus Christ. Chuck Iwuji's screen test for the film was shot on the set of Peacemaker in 2022 with that series' crew, and Marvel repaid the favor by letting Gunn use the Volume 3 set and crew to film the season finale's Justice League scene. So that shot at the end of Peacemaker was the same set as Guardians of the Galaxy, which is fucking funny. Especially just, in contrast to the two.
No.
The film was initially set to be the first one for Phase 4, but was delayed repeatedly due to James Gunn's firing and eventual rehiring, several pushbacks due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and additional delays due to shifts in the MCU's release schedule. It is instead the second film of Phase 5 as a result of all of that. And what a way to do it. Oh man, imagine if this was the opening for Phase 4. Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all, I am very excited to talk about this movie with you guys. But I'm wanting to start off a little bit differently here. I want to go to Garrick to kind of kick us off here, because I feel like Garrick's going to kind of push us in a good direction. So, Garrick, could we get your top level thoughts of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Absolutely. So it's been a well-known fact that I, as an individual, the Guardians of the Galaxy have not been my favorite group of superheroes in the MCU.
Yep.
Not that I dislike them or hate them or any reasons, they've just not been my favorite. So coming into this, I think I had a little bit lower expectations than maybe a lot of other people's. I know the Guardians are kind of a beloved group these days. And I will say personally that this, as a standard right out the gate, is probably my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I thought that this film was very well structured, very, very well structured. And it has this almost odd breakneck pace to it, where it is really cramming so much into the viewer's eyeballs in this 2 hours and 29 minutes. But it never, ever feels like it's lulling itself or pushing itself past important plot beats. This was definitely not one of those films where I felt like, oh yeah, we could have given or taken 20 minutes one or the other way and it would have made for a better and tighter story. This really was probably one of it might be my favorite structured MCU film to date. This felt really, really good to watch from start to finish. And I actually believe that this movie is good enough that if it were not related to the MCU, it still would have been successful, because it was very well written. It was very well acted. All of the CGI felt really well in place. It wasn't over the top. And it was marketed as a much different film than it ended up presenting itself as, which is a treat for viewers a lot of the time, because it subverts a lot of the expectations. And I'm gonna say I had some expectations going into this based off of some trailers, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys had some of the similar expectations, and a lot of that started with the phrase "oh shit," right? And we do have a lot of those moments in this film. This film, all of the stakes feel very real. Even when there are some moments where you're just like, okay, you understand that it's probably not going to end the way that they might be portraying it because of where you're at in the film. You're like, but there's still those moments where oh, are they going to do that? Is this really going to go that way? And it does it a couple of times to where I found myself wondering who was going to make it to the end of this freaking movie.
Absolutely.
And and I thought it made for a very intense ride, and it's got this very, very good tone that I would like to say and bring up that I was very displeased with the mismatch of tone of Thor: Love and Thunder being very, very, very dark and sometime, and then this weird over the top goofy rom-com. This found that middle lane, in my opinion, and really wrote it well. It had a lot of dark tone, some really maybe even hard to watch scenes for some folks, especially if you're very sensitive to animal content. This had some stuff that I struggled with in a couple of moments, but it made for a very powerful and compelling story, and you felt that, and you felt the characters' drive. Everybody's purpose in this film felt really, really good to me. Really, my only gripe with the film as a whole was really I felt like kind of a fumbling of a use of a particular character, that being Adam Warlock. I understand that a lot of that has to do with the nature that, like we said with our fun facts, this was going to be the first of phase 4, where Adam Warlock would have fit a little bit better in, being with that early introduction. Well, some things have happened in phase 4, and now we're in phase 5, and that plot line had to change to make sense in our current MCU storyline. Don't get me wrong, Will Poulter kills the role. I really like his portrayal of Adam Warlock. He's definitely got like that very direct, almost Drax-like, like deliberateness, but without the emotional maturity that Drax has being an adult character. I'm very curious to see what they do with this character in the future, should they choose to do something with it. I just felt like that his plot line was pretty weak, but he was a very good, compelling force early on in the film that I felt set everything up really, really well. I liked this. This was a great ride, and I thought this was a beautiful ending to the trilogy, and probably my favorite trilogy cap-off that we've gotten from any MCU piece so far as well.
DJ.
Yeah, man, dude. I would echo everything that Garrick has been saying, because I came in with the I actually watched the 2 movies, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 the day before or the night before. So because I wanted to binge it and like catch myself up like on a fresh, like if I were to watch these 2 movies and then go watch the third one, like I want to see how that would how it would connect. And of course I saw some of the trailers. And I was, and Garrick's right. They changed a few things for the trailers just to subvert expectations. And there's a lot of like, oh, what just happened moments. It I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think I like this better. I think this is the best. I feel like it's the best in the trilogy. It has a lot, like it balances that humor and somber note, the tones, really well. Chuck Woody as the high evolutionary fucking kills it. He kills this shit. He's so good. I'm like, yeah, this guy's on a rampage. He's on a he's actually crazy. Deranged, yeah, like he's just off his rocker. Yeah, literal god complex.
Literal, yeah, very much so.
Literal, yeah.
The definition, as one would say.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed this. There's a lot happening. Like at first, like you have to like it takes like 15 minutes for you to like sink in to like all the information on your screen, because then you gotta remind yourself this is a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Because there's a lot happening at once. But the pacing didn't feel off. It didn't feel like we were going too fast or going too slow. I think it felt really good. The plot lines here, there's stakes. Like it, I think this is a really good movie. Like Garrick said, if you just had without the Guardians of the Galaxy like moniker, like if you just sold this as a singular movie, solo movie, I think it would do really well. There's some things where you're like, I need explanation on, like, or you need to see the previous ones on, but you don't really need it for the whole film. I think it's just written really well. The set pieces are nice. The action sequences are pretty cool. You're just, and in the theater, a lot of people were laughing. Not me though, because I just don't emote when I'm watching movies
because it's not funny. It's not funny.
It's funny. When I'm out in public, I literally mask as a literal NPC. So I don't. I don't fucking. That's what keeps my anxiety.
NPC mode walks out the door for the day.
Yeah, no, like it. When I'm out in public, I literally try to be normal. So I feel like laughing out loud is wrong, even though it's a perfect place to do so. But a lot of people were laughing because it is really funny. This is there's a lot of humor that works. Like people were cackling in the movie theater, and I was like, wow, like I didn't think
Oh.
like that was that funny, but sure, go ahead. Might be a slight chuckle, maybe a slight chuckle from me, but it is very humorous. Um, it's just a good time. It's a great time. Of course, the music as well, great for the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Yeah,
Genesee.
I okay, I have like big thoughts, big feelings about this movie. I feel like when we go to see a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, we expect something, right? We expect like almost like a lighthearted, like fun energy, like adventure. Like it's like a space road trip movie, basically, you know, with more violence. And yesterday I was like, I just had kind of a long week. I was just really tired. I'm gonna put on my PJs. We're gonna go watch just a funny movie. That is not what I got.
Sure ain't.
I didn't
Sure
feel
ain't.
like I got a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I got something else.
Traumatized.
I got traumatized on a fucking Friday watching a
Sure did.
Guardians of the
Sure
Galaxy
did.
movie. Like crying. Like yo, this was like Sarah McLaughlin abused animal level sad. Like it was like Louis Capaldi music video sad. Like I'm surprised they didn't just put that song in the fucking soundtrack and like
Yeah.
let us all bawl because
Ah,
oh my god, there was like legit animal cruelty in this
Yes.
movie, guys. And like graphically, like it was, and that might be a spoiler, but I think the people need to know because nobody warned us.
Yeah, let's make it very clear here because we need to make sure that we tell people it's not in the same way that of Sisu where like you suddenly see like a horse fucking explode. It is very like direct animal abuse in the sense of like the high evolutionary and what he does as the villain. If you have a hard time with animal stuff in movies, be warned, like you might struggle through a few different parts of this movie because just like they don't necessarily show directly what happens to these animals, but the end result of these animals is enough
the depiction
for
of
you
the
to be like,
aftermath.
oh fuck, man! Like it was definitely something I feel all of us probably struggled with a little bit every time that another one of those scenes popped up, and we were like, "Ugh," like I just, goddamn. But
Yeah,
Flora was
like,
cute, man.
I
Flora was
didn't
fucking cute.
need to see the skull cap of a baby raccoon. Like I didn't.
was-
that was
Yeah,
rough.
yeah, it was
I
hard.
didn't
But continue,
need to
Jigsaw.
see the turtles doing the things that they did. Like I didn't need to see any of that. I didn't need to see Rocket on the table. Like I would highly recommend that if you are sensitive to animals, like in any capacity, that you look up the full spoilers for the movie. Like there are websites that I'm sure will have posted like what you should look out for in terms of the animals of this movie. But other than that, I really loved the characters that they did give a lot of attention to. I really share similar feelings as you, Garrick, and DJ about Adam Warlock. I was disappointed that we didn't get more. I am encouraged that we will get to see more of him, and it was like an introduction, but like I really did expect to see more of him, and I was excited. They got such a big actor, and to like introduce him that way and then not get as much of him was a little bit disappointing. I was also kind of disappointed that we didn't get as much Nebula as like I wanted to. Like we got a lot of, especially because we have had such like deep interactions with Nebula, and I felt like that was missing in this movie. But we did get a lot from other characters. We got so much Rocket in this movie, which I thought was amazing because Rocket is such a deep and fun character, and you got to see so many different sides of him. Which was really cool, and it was almost like a Rocket origin story in some ways, and like I loved that. I loved getting to know Rocket better, and like I've definitely left with like even more respect for Rocket, and he was one of my favorite Guardians already. So like
Yeah.
it was really cool to get that. and same with like Drax and Mantis. Like we got to see more of them. We got to see different sides of them. We got to see their whole dynamic as a family, which was really cool. And dare I say that Peter Quill actually did a little bit of character development this film. Like not a lot,
Agreed.
but a little bit.
Yeah. Enough
He
that
tried.
I felt better about Peter in this movie than prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's
for
like
sure.
the general consensus we have, because I know Garrick and I were talking about that too earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, oh wow, you were like not a douchebag for half a second. Good job. But yeah, so like there were a lot of things in this movie that were really well done. I absolutely agree with Garrick. Like the pacing of this movie, the content that they had in it was really well done, really laid out. I do feel like they, to the best that they could, balanced the heaviness with the lightheartedness. But again, I really wanted a lighthearted movie. There were some heavier tones in the second Guardians, but it was not like you still had that really lighthearted vibe. And that just really felt like it was missing here. That kind of fun, spunky Guardians feel. But I will say that this is probably also my favorite Guardians movie. Because it was, while it was, parts of it were hard to stomach, it was a lot deeper than we've gotten with them before. And I really appreciate them really diving below the surface on that and getting to know some really solid characters better.
Devin.
First off, James Gunn killed it with the soundtrack selection again. I want to give some notoriety to that. We got the intro with Creep by Radiohead, but acoustic, and it fit the tone so well for the movie. It was great opening there. Second off, the production scale, always top notch. I think the Guardians trilogy has some of the best CGI within the whole MCU, honestly. So I want to give some props to that, especially since some things nowadays has that weird like sheen to it, and like a lot of CGI portrayals that we see. Guys, this is an emotional movie. If you cry at movies, you will cry at this movie. I just want to come out that, like, if you're in your feelings, if you've ever felt some type of way about some stuff that could be harmful, this will get to you too. I also want to put that out there. But the character development, not just for Rocket and Star-Lord and like Drax and even Mantis a little bit. I felt like Mantis was pretty much like similar exactly to how the holiday special was, honestly. I didn't see a lot of different growth with Mantis personally in this movie, but she did have a little bit more screen time compared to the other ones, I will say. I like the introduction of new characters that we get. I felt like everybody portrayed their character really well, especially Will Poulter and Chuck with the High Evolutionary. Great additions to the storyline. And yeah, I think my big agree here would be the pet thing. It's gonna get you. You should definitely look it up 100%. But this is also my favorite Guardians movie. I do think I like the humor in the very first one a bit more, but there's some pretty laugh out loud moments where our whole theater was even getting into it, which always makes it a little bit more of a fun experience too. So yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
All right, dude. So I actually want to start out with the things I didn't like about this movie, because there are some things. This, as much as I want the movie to be perfect, it was not. In my opinion, I think that there were some tiny little issues. The first one I get into, because I feel it's a little bit more nitpicky as a Marvel comic book fan. I fucking hate this Adam Warlock. I hate this Adam Warlock. This portrayal of him as this naive man-child is not the Adam Warlock that I thought it was going to be. I wanted Vision as Adam Warlock, but with some comedy behind it, and they did not give that to us. Now that is a big nitpicky thing. I understand that is just a personal taste ordeal. What, Devin?
I just want to add a little thing. They do say in the movie he's like a child because he was prematurely taken out of his
I know,
you know,
and I fucking
Cocoon.
hate that. I fucking hate that they
Yeah.
did that. Like, generally speaking, like I wanted like Superman, but with like some funniness behind it, because that's what Adam Warlock is in the comics. Like, he's not like this fucking man-child thing. He's this like hero that literally has an army that faces against Thanos by himself. Like, that's what I wanted out of this. Now, I do understand that there is space for his character to develop, and maybe that is the end goal of what they were wanting in the movies, but this introduction to him just left me with a really weird bitter taste in my mouth. Now, what James Gunn did with that character was my problem. The Will Poulter's portrayal of that character, of what James Gunn wanted Adam Warlock to be, was money. Adam Warlock, fucking Will Poulter playing that Adam Warlock was fucking great. Yeah. He did a very, very good job of delivering what James Gunn wanted for Adam Warlock to be. And that I can give him all the props in the world for. The High Evolutionary, it's interesting because Marvel, as we know, has a very like notorious background of not doing villains very well. Like, period, point blank. Like, you guys hear me talk about all the time how like fucking tired I am of like these superheroes having to fight just an evil version of themselves. And like they do that time and time again. The High Evolutionary is actually one of the better villains in the Marvel like cinematic universe. Like he is fearful because he is a bad guy. And I like kind of that take of he doesn't necessarily have like just this almost good guy like consciousness to him. Like, he is just pure evil. Like, fuck this guy super hard. And they don't give us a whole lot of villains that are like that are just evil for evil's sake. And Chakuri did an incredible job of portraying that character in a way that like made him feel intimidating, in a way that we needed him to feel. I mean, like this is a guy who in the comics like fights Galactus and almost wins. Like this dude is like a something to be feared. And he does a very, very good job of like coming off as that sort of like high intelligent, self-indulgent piece of shit character that like the other characters are like, dude, you just need to fucking stop. And he does an incredible job on that. I did get a little bit tired of him yelling all the time in the second half of the movie. I was like, why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Like I was kind of like the one time for him to like freak the fuck out and start yelling at everybody, I like totally understood like the first time it happens, but he spends the entire like second half of the movie just like yelling at everybody. And, like everybody, like the Guardians, like Rocket, like he's just like the people who work for him. He's just yelling for yelling's sake, and I got real fucking weirded out about that. But overall, generally speaking, the High Evolutionary as a villain, not just in Guardians but in the MCU as well, I think they did an incredible job of like writing him just for like the base note of like what we need to be seeing as far as him being a biological madman, effectively. What that could mean for, you know, the future of the MCU as well, was very interesting too. I'm actually in disagreement with Devin and DJ. I thought the music in this was weird. I thought it was weird. This is a really weird choices. The acoustic creep was dope. I just wish they would have stuck in that lane, because all of the rest of the songs and music in this movie, for the most part, feels like they just wanted to kind of just cram some shit in there. Like, ooh, I like that song, put that in, right? And like it kind of just like felt like they were just like, oh, we don't want it to necessarily like be somber musically, but like, why don't we pick some stuff that could maybe be somber, but it's also fun? And so they just like have 13 songs that just like felt like, I don't know, like it felt like there was a thing we were getting visually that the music wasn't matching up with, and that was pestering me throughout the course of the movie. Now the good stuff, because there is a lot of it. This movie is fucking great. This is easily the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie, by like without any question. I think that like what Genesee was saying, that we get a chance to actually dive deeper into the characters, these characters that I think that the first two movies allow us to pay off with in this film. There's a lot of stuff that we've invested into these characters that this movie actually capitalizes on in a really, really good way. I think that this movie puts a nail in the coffin to arguably say that Galaxy of the Guardians is potentially the best trilogy in the MCU right now. Arguably. I mean, like I maybe Captain America, maybe Spider-Man, but like Guardians is like
Those
easily
would be the 3.
like easily like the Guardians show. I mean, if you think about like when we went back and watched the first one, right, and we were like, oh dude, this is fucking great, right, the fucking hilarious ass movie, and the second one comes and it's like almost just as funny as the first one with some better action set pieces. Like this one finally giving us a chance to like be emotional with these characters and like, you know, a little bit less than just like skin deep. It's incredible. Like this trilogy is very, very good now. And I think that like having this movie go in the, even though Genesee wanted a space adventure, I think them making the decision to go in this direction for this movie was what they needed to make Guardians one of the best trilogies in the MCU right now. Because everything about this story is magnificently well done. You guys are right. The pace is perfect. I think us getting this sort of like weird quasi origin story for Rocket was phenomenal. We spend more time with each one of the Guardians in a way that feels like we need to with each one of them. Arguably maybe Nebula, but I think Nebula is kind of just already a pretty surface level character as it is. And I think most of our exploration with Nebula could be done with Endgame instead. So I'm not too concerned about her, but we do spend more time with all the characters as a whole. And we get to sort of explore their emotions and where they're sitting with things and like their insecurities and their problems and the concerns that they're having in this universe. And that's something that we didn't really get outside of Peter Quill losing Gamora. Right. And like now we have to see this other dynamic of his relationship with Gamora. And I thought that was very, very well done. Overall, you can tell, generally speaking, James Gunn gives a fuck about these characters. And because of such, he made sure that he went out on a high note. This movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, is a lot of fun. It is extremely well written. You will fucking cry. You will absolutely fucking cry. I know me and Jag were a little bit of a slobby mess off on the right side, but Jesus Christ, man. Like there's some stuff in this movie that it isn't even just like the animal shit. I mean, there's some other moments too that have you just like, oh fuck, man, my heart just sank a little bit because of what this person said or what this person said. And Jesus Christ, man, bring some tissues with you. The action set pieces in this are fucking incredible. There is a single shot pan scene that is one of the dopest fucking Marvel decisions I have ever seen in my goddamn life. You guys know what scene I'm talking about. God damn, that part's so fucking good.
Boy.
Oh my
The
god.
back.
The back. Well, no. The hallway.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that
yes.
old boy Styles shit.
Oh my God, dude, that shit was so good. Devin is 100% correct. The CGI in this movie is actually better than a majority of Marvel CGI, which is insane to me to think about because there are some weird CGI stuff in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but this one, like, every single bit of it was believable, especially anything having to do with Adam Warlock looked fucking cool as shit, dude. God damn, that looked so cool. But yeah, dude, this movie. Yeah, Jesus Christ. This movie is great. I'm super excited that we got a chance to see it. I have good feelings now about Marvel going forward, because this movie allowed us to go there a little bit. And we talked about this before, where in Marvel, we're kind of waiting for this pin drop to happen where we can finally say like, oh shit's hitting the fan again, because we haven't gotten that for a majority of the last phase. And now it kind of feels like things are starting to ramp up a little bit where we could lose a character at any moment's notice. Something really bad could happen at any moment's notice. And now, considering the ending of this movie, we have a completely different direction that we could potentially go with a lot of these different characters and stuff. So I am very excited to see where things go from here. But in the meantime, guys, have a word from our sponsors.
This piece of good cracking content is brought to you by Glide Mousepads. The world is changing and the demand for PC gaming and work from home setups has never been as wild as it is right now. Having the best of the best in PC accessories only makes it easier to get your work done before you jump right back in to the fray of the digital sea. And Glide knows exactly how to make that happen for you. Glide Mousepads is the future industry leader in mousepads, offering beautiful, smooth, waterproof products made with eco-friendly materials and non-slip rubber in a variety of sizes that are guaranteed to help you get that next win. I've got one of these bad boys in my office at work. I've got one here at my desk right now. Devin's got one. Xander's got one. This bad boy is silky smooth, silkier and smoothier than even the silkiest of smoothies or soy milk or what have you. You can go to glidemousepads.com right now and use code Kraken for 15% off the Founders Edition mousepad in every size available. Again, that's code KRAKEN Kraken for 15% off any Founders Edition mousepad today. Our next sponsor is Rogue Energy. Late nights are pretty much commonplace for all content creators, and anyone here at GK can attest that late nights are kind of our only nights. Luckily for us, though, Rogue has figured out exactly how to give those late nights and even earlier mornings the supercharge that we all need. Rogue Energy is a low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula that is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Every formula Rogue Energy produces is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients and no chalky textures. Again, we don't want that. We don't want that. Being the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, Rogue Energy strives to improve the in-game performance of gamers, streamers, and content creators around the world. Now, I know that we've been riding this train for a long time. You might be tired of us talking about this. You might not be tired of us. You might want to just support us anyways. And you know what? For those that do support us, we love you. But the best way to support us right now is to grab yourself a big old cup of Joe. When I say Joe, I mean this Rogue Energy stuff. I need you waking up first thing in the morning with a big old shit to get a big old shit going. Oh, wow. You grab your Rogue Energy cup. Okay, you dip that you just scoop that bad boy right on there. You give that bad boy a shaky dakey, you know what I'm saying? And then you're out the dang door. Okay, you need this beverage in your life. I cannot express that enough. You can head on over to rogueenergy.com and use code GKRAKEN for 10% off any purchase of shaker or formula tub of your choosing. That's GKRAKEN for 10% off any shaker or formula tub that you would like. Now, back to the episode.
So what I want to do next with you guys very quickly is go through around the table here and talk a little bit about some of the not necessarily Guardians that we loved throughout the course of this movie. Do you guys have any sort of like side characters that like stood out to you more than others? Let's start with Garrick here.
Okay, so if we're excluding the immediate Guardians, I think I had a couple that I really enjoyed. There were some pretty good side characters in this that felt pretty decent. But honestly, I think my favorite side character was definitely Cosmo. Like we got the kind of an introduction to Cosmo in the last Guardians movie. And I just thought it was just it was my favorite like lighthearted running joke that they chose to use to the film. It was just very on brand. It felt very Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed Nathan Fillion's appearance in this film.
Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I got one of those too.
I'll just say it outright. Nathan Fillion is definitely my favorite side character in this fucking movie. His character was fucking killing me, man. Yeah, I got one of those too. And then like the entire conversation, and he kept bringing it up. Like later on when he does it with the mom, he's like, "Yeah, I got one of those." Like fucking killing me, dude. Anyways, Gary, continue.
Yeah, but no, they were definitely my favorite too. I really liked the running joke with Cosmo. I actually felt like we got like some character growth and like we got like a little bit of like, you know, that character pairing between Kraglin and Cosmo, kind of setting up like, oh, maybe we might get to see some fun like some partnership from them in the future. And they had some really good on-screen chemistry. I thought it was really, really good. Yeah, and then, but no, the OrgoCorp's, Nathan Fillion's OrgoCorp character was just super, super fucking on point. They were definitely my 2-star side characters from this film.
Me and Jag both were kind of like, is that fucking Nathan Fillion? Like we both like nudged each other for a second. I was like, what the fuck is he doing in this? Right? But like, god damn, do we fucking deserve that? He deserves that. He deserves to be in the fucking MCU 100%. DJ, same question to you, man. What are some NPC side characters that you were loving in this?
I I like Cosmo, and I love the Rocket's friends, Floor, Lila. I forgot the walrus.
Eves.
Eves.
Teefs.
Teefs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Teefs.
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 I love them because
Rest in peace.
this movie made me cry for them. Like I was as well traumatized. That was of course Nathan Fillion's character. Yeah, I got one of those too.
Yeah.
just right in front of his face.
He's like, it was an accident. He's like, I don't fucking care. Like, it's the way he was doing it was so good, man.
Yeah. And I don't have any point of reference for Adam Warlock. This is my first like introduction to him. Besides like the post credit scene in Guardians 2 and Eternals. So I thought he was pretty funny. I kind of like that direction with this character. Like he's like a child because he is a child. But he's he's just finding out about the world. And stuff like that. And by the end of the movie, he's kind of he kind of understands a little bit more. He starts like maturing like emotionally slightly, and like starts like I'm like, oh, this is what empathy is.
Who would thought? Yeah. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that guy was a bad guy.
I'm excited to see what he becomes throughout the MCU, or if he comes back at all, because Will Poulter kills it.
No, there's no way they introduce a character like Adam Warlock and not have him come back into the MCU. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's a very, very big character in like almost every storyline he's involved in.
Yep.
So yeah,
Jen-
look forward to it. Trust me.
Genesaw, your side characters that you enjoyed.
Since we're already talking about Adam Warlock, I just need to say it. I need him and Harry's Star Fox to make a baby. Like it just needs to happen. Like I don't
Jesus
need to
Christ.
see the sex on the
Horny
screen,
bonk.
but like I need to know that they do it. Like they can just like look at each other
Basically
longingly.
Thor.
Like they can just brush fingertips. Like I don't care, but like something needs to happen. But yeah. Other than that, Hope and Dream, I'd say my favorite side characters in this movie were Cosmo, for sure. Cosmo was hilarious. And yeah, also Nathan Fillion. The second he showed up on the screen, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, he was in the." They showed his name at the beginning, and I was like,
I
"Well, I obviously
Didn't
wasn't
fucking
paying
realize.
attention."
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention
No.
to that either. He was a shock to me too.
I'm glad he's doing more.
I
Damn.
love him. I mean, he's a hard man not to love.
Should have been
One of
Nathan
those
Drake.
too.
Should have been
Yeah.
Uncharted, but that's
Yeah.
fine. He'll be in the MCU
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Yeah,
God damn it,
yeah.
Devin.
I am so upset with that Uncharted movie. I like saw it on Netflix the other day, and I was like, nope, never watching that again.
Fine movie. Fine movie.
No, it's not.
Devin, your favorite side
Fine.
pieces. Go ahead.
Honestly, the big three. We've all been talking about it. It's like Cosmo, definitely. Love the good dog. Cosmo is good dog. Love it. Love it.
And all the characters are like, "Would you just tell her she's a good dog?"
No,
Like this
she's
is
a bad
killing
dog.
us.
What was the line? What was the line? Every time he says it, it hurts.
So and like at the poker table, and she's like, and then he called me a bad dog, and they're like, "Oh Jesus Christ!"
Here we go.
The Soviets didn't even call me a bad dog.
So good,
fucking got
so
me.
fucking good, dude. Anyways, Devin, continue.
Yeah. So obviously Cosmo, great character, great addition to Guardians. Really glad to see a character like that come to life in the MCU because it's a very out there character.
Yeah.
A golden retriever that gets sent to space by Soviet Russia that has telekinesis powers. Come on.
Yeah,
Ridiculously strong telekinesis.
yeah,
power.
like ridiculously strong.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Also, Nathan Fillion, of course, he just added that comedic flavor that was there. I mean, that whole like section was actually probably the funniest part of the movie, you know, very easily. Also, it's been advertised, that F-bomb.
Yeah.
We'll get
One
there.
of the best F words ever.
like
So-
F deliveries ever.
I
so-
love that.
so
My
good.
favorite supporting character was the F bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with that right now. My favorite supporting character
Yeah, that's
was the
my favorite,
F-bomb.
our favorite character.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Probably.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
You know, and like obviously Adam Warlock, because it's Adam Warlock, and it more so makes me excited about what can come from having Adam Warlock in MCU and moving forward, you know, and it kind of puts more like crossover possibilities there, because Adam Warlock was actually originally introduced for the first time in Fantastic Four. Yep, very first Marvel appearance was in a Fantastic Four comic run.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's not. He kind of becomes a main character in like a bunch of different stuff after that. Like immediately after that, though, and it's
He's actually a villain, just like how he was kind of
involved.
introduced
Yeah,
in this.
he's like an anti-hero. He definitely plays both sides of the. He's all over the place. Adam Warlock is just prominent in the MCU.
and then he leads a freaking religious cult eventually.
kind of.
He's
I mean,
he's a
'cause
busy dude.
He is sort of like an anti-hero, but he is guided by like a good moral compass, like for the most part. Like that's why he faced off against Thanos and stuff like that. He is Superman. He is Superman in the MCU. Like that's basically what he does. Even though he has his own personal agendas, like he does still try to do the right thing for like, you know, most of the storylines. But anyway, yeah, I mean, obviously Cosmo is going to be like the big one that we talk about here, just because Cosmo's fucking wonderful in this, and even like having the introduction in like the holiday special, I thought was really good, because if we would have just got Cosmo randomly in this, it would have big whiplash. What, Devin?
I noticed something. No accent in holiday special.
Yeah, she did.
She had an accent.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
Did
it was very because she only has like 3 lines.
Very subtle.
In the holiday
Yeah.
special, yeah, she doesn't speak a whole lot, but yeah, same voice actress and everything. But they did purposely make her Russian, because Cosmo in the books is like a little bit different. Cosmo's a boy in the comic books, but this specific Cosmo is supposed to be an actual in real life dog that the Soviet Union sent to space, which makes this even fucking more hilarious that they're like, because her name was like Lilik or something like that, like some name like that they gave her. Sorry, I had a cough. But yeah, in real life, they had that happen. That this dog is based on that. It's fucking great. Leica, thank you, Girl Spit. Leica the dog was an actual fucking dog, and that's Cosmo now. I would also probably echo DJ. I think Rocket's friends were probably very close second to Cosmo in this, just because like how easy it was to like get caught up in your fucking feelings, like seeing Rocket and like them, and when they like, oh my god, dude, I'm not gonna dive in too deep, but like there's that scene where they like come up with their names, and I was like, fuck, dude, like oh my god, and all their voices are so like perfectly suited for each one of them so well, and just like baby Rocket, man, oh my god, fuck, dude, fuck. But my third place would actually probably go to the townspeople of Neo Earth, or Earth Copy, whatever the fuck.
Oh, Counter Earth.
Counter
Counter-Earth.
Earth. Yeah. Yeah, the people of Counter Earth were fucking hilarious. Just like the whole scene that we saw in like the trailer and shit with like the dodgeball and whatnot. But with like that family specifically, like the Bat family, because they
The
were like
fucking dad groan.
the dad grown with the car. Oh, God. And then like like everything that had to do with that scene with like Drax on the couch and shit like that, where like Peter's like, I see you, like. And he just over what's it for? Like,
It's an oblong chair. It's oblong.
so
That
good,
was a good
dude.
scene.
Oh my god, man! But yeah, that family was great, because it was killing me, because like they were sort of acting as a like foreign family in a weird way, where like even though like we know like the Guardians were like the foreigners in this sense, but like because of the how they were all interact with each other, it was like an American family and like a like immigrant like Mexican family trying to have a conversation with each other, and it was fucking hilarious. That shit was killing me, that entire fucking scene, dude. And like all the little family portraits were like making me and Jack giggle really hard because it was like just like these regular family portraits and then just big bat ears just like sticking out, dude. So fucking good, dude. Yeah, man. The side characters, that's why I wanted to ask you guys, because the side characters in this I thought were pretty damn well done in this movie, because there's so many good ones in this film, including Nathan Fillion, obviously. All the guys had to do with that, like all even like the weird henchmen that the High Evolutionary had were like so goofy and over the top too that I was like, oh god. But without any further ado, let's kind of go into our final ordeal here. Devin, real quick.
There was one character I wanted to mention that was probably surprising, and I can't remember his name, but the Ravagers have a sorcerer.
Yeah, the red dude with like the portals.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. That was a cool surprise to see, like someone with those abilities so separated from, you know, like Karmatage and all that, you know, because I don't think we've seen that yet.
No, the thing about him that fucking killed me was when there's that scene where they all have like the pirate captain laugh, where Gamora laughs,
and he
and he has an a laughing emo. Yeah. So fucking good, dude.
That's pretty good.
Anyways, let's get into it, guys. Garrick, let's start with you. Should people see this movie right away, and what is your score?
If you have been feeling a way that we have been feeling similarly about MCU's films lately, that they've just not quite been getting up to the snuff that we've been used to with the last three phases. This really turns that really, like, I feel like we're finally turning over the new side of that leaf, and we're getting to see some real stakes in the MCU again. I thought this was just a great, solid movie from start to finish. Very well done. If you are a fan of the Guardians, absolutely go check this out. Just be mindful. There is some pretty tough animal sensitive content. If you're sensitive to that, do yourself a little bit of research. I will say that much out the gate. But this is just a well-built film, if not missing a couple of things that we might know and love from James Gunn's pieces here and there. This is an 8 out of 10 for me.
All right, DJ.
You should go see this if you're a fan of the MCU and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, there's some animal sensitive content, so like just be wary of that. It even made me, I'm like get this. Move to the next one, the next scene, please. So it will make you feel a little uncomfy and maybe a tiny bit squeamish, but I really adore this movie. I've been having like the Marvel MCU fatigue, and you know, this movie kind of is like, okay, this is a fucking movie. Okay, this is a movie. This isn't a Marvel movie. It is a movie. You can like set this on its own, and it's fucking great. There's a few little things that that I would like to be better, but honestly, I really enjoy this movie, and I'm giving this a 9 out of 10.
I like it. Jenna saw.
I have very similar thoughts. It was a very well done movie. I think that if you are a fan of the Marvel movies, of superhero movies, of space movies, space cowboy things, if those are your jam, then I think you will like this movie and you should absolutely watch it. I do think that if you are sensitive to things with animals, you're not going to lose a whole lot by watching it at home. I do think there were parts where I would have liked to have the option to fast forward through them, if I'm being honest. I did love seeing it on the big screen. I love seeing movies in theaters. I think that's great, but there were parts where I felt really uncomfortable watching that content in a theater, in a room with a bunch of other people, and not having the option to like take a second. So that is my like caveat for seeing it in theaters for folks. But it really was a really, really well done movie. And while there were some really, really heavy sensitive parts of it, that doesn't detract from how well done the movie was. And I would give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, Devin.
Very nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It is the best entry to the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, in my opinion. It had very strong visual effects, very good pacing, really good character development. And honestly, this reaffirmed Rocket being my favorite character in the MCU. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
All right, I like it, my friend. Yeah, I think that I pretty much agree with Genesee. I think that like this movie you should see in theaters, but if you are by any chance having some trouble with that animal thing, just wait, so that you can kind of control that yourselves. But anybody else, if you're like down for it and you're okay and you can handle it accordingly, yes, absolutely see this in theaters. I think that there's a lot of spectacle in this that would do you some injustice if you didn't get a chance to see it on the big screen. Also being a part of the conversation around it as soon as possible, I think is really, really great too. There is some pretty heavy shit that happens in this movie that I think that you'll want to have time to process before we get into more MCU, because goddamn, there's a good chance that it's only going to get heavier from here. So beware. You might want to see it sooner so that you have more time to handle more shit that you might need to see sooner, to get ready for more shit that you might have to see sooner. So be prepared for that. But yeah, this is absolutely a phenomenal movie that you should see as soon as possible. James Gunn just fucking nailed it, giving us his last inning, being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I am very happy to say that I think that he did us some justice. I think he did us some justice, and you don't want to miss out on that. So I'm going to be giving this movie a 8.5 out of 10.
Hey.
That puts us at a wonderful. Oops.
That puts us at an 8.5.
That puts us at an
8.5.
8.5. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Garrick. So 8.5 out of 10 from here, from us here at Good Kraken. Definitely go watch this. It is a good time. You're going to miss out on some juicy stuff if you don't get a chance to jump in there. But in the meantime, y'all, let's talk about our schedule for next week. So next Tuesday, we have another Good Kraken podcast where, outside of some other conversations, we're going to be talking about our experiences with Redfall.
It's time.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a fun conversation. So, and then next Wednesday we have a Ocean Shrine story time. Back at you again, where I'm gonna be playing Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception, because I'm trying to burn my way through that hoe. We're gonna take it back old school and do some more Uncharted streams, like the first time that your boy went into the streaming world. So come in here, help me notch this off. We got one more mainline Uncharted game to get through before we're finally finished with the Uncharted series. So I'm excited to play that with you guys. And then on Thursday, the Shipwreck Show live recording as per usual right here at twitch.tv/GoodKraken Show. But if you are on our Discord and you are a Twitch subscriber to us here, you have access to the Shipwreck Submissions channel where you can ask us any question you want and we will potentially answer it live on the Shipwreck Show for your guys' little nitty gritties. You know what I'm saying? You guys little nuggets, little nuggies, little nuggies. We're the sauce. You know what I'm saying? And then Friday
Got
we
the
have
dog inside.
a good old 7th Brevin, where our boy Devin Stanford is gonna be playing Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And you guys will get a chance to see how that game is. And oh boy, if it's empty, me and Garrick are never shutting the fuck up about that.
Can I say this?
Yes.
Can I say this real quick?
Yep.
I've been playing Breath of the Wild again in preparation. I don't know how you think that game feels empty, because I played for like an hour last night and I came across like 3 world bosses and like a bunch of enemies and like found a bunch of treasure, made a bunch of food, like did a couple shrines. I don't know how you guys think that game's empty, and yet you're playing Redfall.
Yeah, I never
Which
said
is also
Redfall
a
wasn't.
mid-game.
Yeah, I didn't say that wasn't empty.
Breath of the
That's an
Wild is
empty
not
ass
a
game
game,
too.
though.
Yeah, I mean, even Redfall, you're fighting shit every 7 minutes, and even that game's empty as fuck. But that's fine. You just want to cook I want a cooking sim, I'd play fucking Overcooked. Anyways, so you guys can catch that, all that content during the week. It's 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. But then next Saturday, we have another Good Kraken podcast at 12 p.m. Pacific time, where we're going to be talking about some guilty pleasure movies that we enjoy, especially going into Fast X coming out here in a couple of weeks. We need to talk about some movies that we unabashedly enjoy, no matter how fucking ridiculous and over top that they are. So I'm excited to talk about that with you fellas. In the meantime, guys, please let us know your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know on Discord. We want to hear from you guys because this has been the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you enjoyed the show, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can watch us. You can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, and soon have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea.
Yar.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. We got to get out of here, guys. But until next time, my friends, get in the fucking car.
Get in the fucking car.